This learned constable is too cunning to be understood.
It's episode 34 of the Electric Fan Cave on electricface.com. Welcome back, fangirls and fanboys. Corrigan Vaughn and Kristen Latterell at your service, joined by the wickedly talented Donna Simone Johnson. We're going to get the 411 on the life and career of Ms. Donna, and then we'll chat about a few things of import from the past week, like the season 40 premiere of SNL, Lorde's new single off the Hunger Games soundtrack, Chris Hemsworth's new flick, Black Hat, and some crazy clouds science has yet to give a proper name. So I don't see any reason to procrastinate. Let's get to it. First and foremost, happy National Coffee Day, gals.
Yay!
Yep,
I've moved on to tea, but
I was gonna get coffee, but I forgot we were doing this. I didn't have time.
Well, I'm a little disappointed in both of you, but that's okay.
I know. Have quite a few hours in the day. We can remedy this.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for coffee.
I usually get it during the witching hour at like 3.
The witching hour?
That's what I call 3 o'clock at work, because I'm ready to go home, but I still have 2 more hours.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's
And that's usually when I start to hit my, I start to get a little crazy, so I, go, take a little break, get coffee, which makes me a little bit more on edge, so.
Yeah, I was about to say, that seems like a bad solution when you're starting to feel a little crazy.
In college and even, in grad school early on, I could have coffee at, 9 o'clock and be ready to, go to bed by 12.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Anymore. If I have coffee, I think, after witching hour, I'm done.
Yeah?
I'm done. You will get posts and texts and Twitters from me till 5 in the morning. It's terrible. As if the internet cares that I can't sleep. Just again and again and again. It's terrible.
This actually, have you guys, well, Kristen, I know you're not on board with this. And actually, I sent you an invite, Donna, but there's this new social network called Ello.
Yeah.
And this was, I noticed people trying to sort of use Ello like they're using Facebook and things. And last night, all I saw were posts from people saying they couldn't sleep. It's I can't sleep. I've exhausted Facebook, I guess. And now I'm telling Ello about it. Have you gotten a chance to try it, Donna?
No, I haven't. That might be maybe Wednesday or Thursday.
I'll you have to schedule social network time
when I can open that email.
But,
I don't know. I've sort of fantasized about how I'm going to use Ello. I think I'm going to use it for all of my political posts that
I like it.
I don't want to see on Facebook, or I'm afraid of,
offending people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for profanity, I'm going to cuss on Ello.
I like it. I like the way you think. That's good. Because I totally use social networking different, too. I will put political things on, Tumblr or Twitter, mostly because I'm I think my audience is basically the same viewpoints as me for the most part. Don't get a whole lot of pushback. But then, Facebook, I'm mm-mm.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
You gotta...
I put my political stuff on MySpace. So.
Where no one says anything. It's just crickets.
Yeah, exactly. Kristen, did you have a MySpace?
Do I? No, I used to, obviously.
Well, that's what I mean. Did you at one point?
Yeah, I did. I did have one.
Yeah. I think I still have it, but it's, unrecognizable now.
I found a way to delete it. It was
pretty
intimidating.
But it was very scary because I was like, are you sure? There's no going back. I'm like, maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I shouldn't do it. And then I don't use it.
Well, Facebook does that too. When you go to delete, it'll show me pictures of people. Corrigan Vaughn's going to miss you if you go. I'm like, I don't think she's even going to notice.
I would notice.
My birthday comes around and she's birthday twin. Oh, wait, she's not here.
Yeah. That's totally how I notice people, either have unfriended me or have deleted their Facebook, is it'll be oh, there's, a thing, we have the same birthday or something, and then it comes up and I'm like, how dare you? Why are we not friends? I don't understand. I don't really get that upset about not being friends with people on Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, so National Coffee Day, Ello, these are things that are happening.
Yeah.
Donna, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
It's wonderful.
This is awesome. I can stay home and talk to people and put on lipstick. It's a great Monday, guys. This Monday is looking good.
It is, and you are looking good on this Monday.
That lipstick is a delightful color.
It really is. I'm a big fan of that bright red action and the white nails.
I know, you're very fashionable.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have dressed up for the podcast.
I went through when it got super, super hot here, I went through this 2-week funk where I was miserable and in boxers every single day. And so now I'm like coming out of it pretending that it's almost fall and it's time to do stuff with my life.
Yeah. Well, I like that method, just that you don't do stuff with your life until fall.
It's summer.
Yeah. Summer
party.
Time to like be sweaty and sit in boxers, and that's about it.
That's summer.
I'm really happy about fall being here. Not like, I don't understand the pumpkin spice thing. Do either of you guys get into the pumpkin spice thing?
I mean, I could do a little pumpkin spice.
Like, it's okay. It's fine. I'm not against pumpkin spice. It's just like the mayhem surrounding it.
Yeah.
It's like the McRib. That's what I compare it to. People like, this is my first pumpkin spice of the season. I'm like, who cares? I don't like pumpkin. I don't like that pumpkin-y. I don't like those nutmeg candles. I don't like any of that.
Really?
Yeah, it makes me feel my stomach like a little queasy. I think maybe one time I had the flu. I trace these things back to maybe I like threw up one time because it kind of makes me, and it's caught here and you can't unsmell it. It's like stuck in this section of your face.
Okay.
Like your throat to your nose, and you're just smelling it then. And
I'm making a note of this so that I never light like a pumpkin candle when you are at my house.
Don't like that stuff. Not into it. I guess is the short answer.
I think we lost Donna.
Hot drinks, I'll drink hot coffee now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I drink lukewarm coffee, essentially. Clearly, it's just really good marketing that all these coffee shops have managed to make girls go insane.
Well, and not even, everything now is, anybody does it.
Yeah, everything is pumpkin spice.
Everything is pumpkin spice.
Yeah. My fall thing is that at Albertsons, they sell cinnamon brooms. Have you guys seen those?
No.
What does that mean?
The actual brooms?
They're just
like a broom you sweep your house with?
Well, you couldn't really. You would have cinnamon sticks all over your house if you did it. But
that's the point. It smells good.
It smells like cinnamon, right?
Long.
That's how it gets the scent out.
Yeah. And so you just stick it in your house, and you can use it as a decoration. You can hang it somewhere like a wreath, or just lean it, and your whole house smells like cinnamon.
Or ride it to school.
Hey, a little nimbus. Cinnamon.
2000.
I don't know what to call it. If it's a Cinimbus 3000.
Cinimbus.
Oh, we're geniuses, you guys.
Gosh,
we're genius. Donna, let's get some top threes from you.
Yeah, I thought of one of these.
She thought of it. You might have to. I don't even remember what we settled on. Basically, we were like, "Which Donna's an actress? What should we? Yeah, what should we do for these top threes?" And so we're trying to think of stuff, and then Kristen is just naming every movie term she's ever heard before. She's like stage designer, costume designer, cinematographer. We're not doing those.
I just opened up the Oscar nominations from this last year and looked at all the categories. I was like, favorite sound mixer.
Yeah, I'm sure you have really strong opinions on that. But how about it depends on whether this is a thing you're into or not. But classic Hollywood actors or actresses all wrapped up.
What do you mean by classic?
Like old-timey.
Old-timey. Black and white.
Okay.
I don't want to
Hepburn.
Like Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart. Gregory Peck.
Number one, really easy off the cusp, is Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he worked so hard. You know what I mean?
Right? And he is such a bamf. Him and Harry Belafonte and MLK all hanging out, changing the world.
And they always have these pictures that'll pop up with them in it. And I'm like, what's happening here?
So debonair and
and don't worry, no big. We're just chilling, saving, the world or whatever. I don't know.
Being super talented and saving the world.
Super humble too, you know?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah, so he's number one.
Good pull. I like it.
It's Ava Gardner.
Oh, Ava Gardner.
Ava Gardner, good one.
I never considered this before.
Ooh, hey. Good job, us.
Would be Humphrey Bogart. Believe it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have called that for you. So that's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, a span of three, but I think they're all three really, really talented and did good work off screen, which I always admire. Definitely. Use their powers for good.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's rare,
long, healthy careers. Mm-hmm. So
I agree. I like it.
Nice. Those are good choices.
Good top 3. What was our other one, Kristen?
Top 3 inside the actor studio guests.
Were we actually going to do that?
Oh, I don't know. Were we not?
We can't.
It's one of my.
If not prepared.
I was about to say, if you know off the top of your head, 3.
No, I know that last year Hugh Jackman did one, and I couldn't make it. All my friends said it was great.
Okay, well, I imagine it would be great.
Yeah.
No, that was a joke. We don't really have to do that one. I've only seen like one of those, so I wouldn't even know what that's about. I don't. What?
I think when I said, oh boy, sorry Donna, we talked about so many things earlier. We quickly lose track of. Oh, I remember what it was. We're gonna do stage shows.
Yeah.
You know.
Top 3 stage shows.
Jeez Louise.
I know we're gonna make
you. The Convert.
Oh.
By Danae Gurria.
Okay.
Number 2. Oh, this is so difficult because I have so many shows.
I know. I'm like, this is a tough one.
Number 2 would be Choir Boy, which is actually currently at the Geffen.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've heard of that thing around
plug.
Soon.
Geez. Number 3 would be. Oh gosh, no! I'm gonna change everything. This is number 1. Everything else was pushed down.
Okay.
One would be. I saw a production of a show called Yellow Man at the Fountain Theater when I was 17 years old.
Okay.
2005, and there were 2 actors who played, I want to guess and say maybe 13 roles apiece, and it was probably one of the most visceral and transformative productions I've ever seen, directed by Shirley Jo Finney. My friend and I went to go see it together, and we just sat in the car in silence for probably 2 hours. And just like, we were like...
What was it
like
called?
This video call.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was. If I could ever go back to like being in the seat of any show ever, it would be to be back in that little theater at the Fountain and just like, yay, here we go. And I was like right in the front, and oh gosh, and the actor spit was everywhere.
That's always that is the danger of being near the front of any form of performance. Like I once went to see like Hedda Gabler or something like that, and they had this thing where like these actors were like above me on this thing, and like it was just like dropping spit onto me.
Oh.
I was like, stop,
that's miserable.
Stop, right?
Stop. Hard pass.
Yeah. But that was okay. That was like
and
emphatic.
Like, and then I had, you'll like this. Okay, so there are 2 roles, man and woman, and the woman, she ended up, don't judge this, she's the Popeyes woman. Her name is Deidre Henry.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And she did theater for like 25 years, and then finally booked a huge commercial series, and now she can like do whatever she wants, and so like one of those like struggling actors. It's like one of the most talented women I've ever seen in my life. And, you know, she's the Popeyes lady, but no one deserves it more than her. I mean...
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I ran into her at an audition later in life, like 5 years later, and I happened to have the Yellow Man, like, playbill in my house, and I was, like, maybe 2 miles away, and I'm like, can you come with me and sign it? And she was like, sure, I'll come to your home.
Really?
And she followed me to my house and waited in the car, and she came and signed my playbill.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I love that you even had the gumption to like ask that.
The worst thing she can say is no, but
it's true.
I think that a lot of like LA stage actors don't get notice or attention. You know what I mean? Like we're all in it together. So
absolutely.
I feel like I would feel great if someone was like, "Oh, I saw you in a production of whatever." You know, I really digged it. I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's really cool."
Yeah, definitely.
I think more than like, you know, Chris Pratt wants me to bug him while he's having lunch. That's a little bit different, so
yeah, I can definitely see that. That's such a cool story, though. I love that. That's fantastic, and I do think LA stage scene needs more play. People need to know more about it. You know,
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended there.
Unintended.
But
you just have sound effects.
Drug noises, so I can just hit it.
I don't usually do sound effects. I'm a little too lazy for that. Just basic music is enough.
All right,
I'm the sound effects on this show, guys.
Yeah.
I heard your bells.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's full of
I didn't say they're
like
good
that.
sound effects. I just said I do the sound effects.
Yeah, same with accents. She's our accent girl, too. Yeah, she's pretty genius at those.
My Italian is incredible. So.
Spoiler alert, her Italian also sounds pretty much like all her other accents.
Spoiler alert, It also sounds like my regular voice.
Have you guys seen that commercial with Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell where with the tablet? Yeah, with the tablet, and at one point he's like, spitballing an accent to her, and she's like, Are you auditioning for a Portuguese guy? He's like, no, he's British.
I've seen that. I need to Google that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's kind of a long commercial.
It is, because then she's like sitting out on the veranda with her.
Yeah, playing with it, and she's preggo, and it's cute.
They're adorable.
They always are. So Donna, what are you doing these days? What's your life, career, action looking like?
It's looking really, really good. I'm in the middle of a couple projects. I just finished in the spring. I was really lucky to be able to do a film that was produced by James Franco called The Inheritors.
Oh, yeah.
A ghost just ran behind you. Just like,
the ghost of Creeper Dog.
Right?
There's a reason we call him Creeper Dog.
So I had a meeting last week with his team, and we got to watch sort of like it's going into post now, but we got to watch it, and it looks really great. And he actually offered another project to me, so we're gonna start production on that in November.
Awesome.
And I have a couple films in post, and I have one in pre, and I'm also doing a play, so I can't talk about it too much, but it's really, really good. And auditioning, being an LA actor and all that stuff. But
yeah. Is this feeling like everything's sort of like everything you've worked for? Now you've graduated from Cal Arts and NYU, correct? NYU. And you have been, grinding for years, working on your art. And now is it sort of feeling like it's coming together?
Very much so. It's really, I had, at graduation time, I was really lucky. I booked a show up in San Francisco, Much Ado About Nothing, and I was sort of going between like end of the year graduation stuff.
We both love Much Ado About Nothing. That's
I was like,
we didn't want to interrupt your thought, which we then ended up doing anyway.
But I'm going to and tell you how much I love it. Okay,
I love that show.
Yeah,
but I had this moment of like, I think when you're going and going and going for so long, it feels like this is the work, like this is what it is. Mm-hmm. And then when after all the sowing is done and the reaping begins, it's like, whoa, like everything is changing.
Yeah,
it was just sowing for so long that it's very strange to be in a reaping season, but it's really cool too.
Yeah,
I'm lucky enough, or worthy enough to be able to do.
So now that you're in this reaping season, as you put it, do you feel like you can kind of breathe a little bit? Is there any rest, or does it just mean that you are busier and working really hard? There is a lot of rest, and that's the thing is we would say my first year, these days, I'm not exaggerating, these days are 14, 15-hour days, and we were like, after this, we can do anything. You know what I mean? Totally.
And so even if I have, a really crazy 8 or 10-hour day on set, it's like I can always be like, remember that day where and kind of come out of it. So all that to say, I always feel like I have a lot of free time. Like I feel so guilty when I sit and watch Electric Fancave. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't be doing this. I have work cut out. Right. Yeah. But cool. We just found a dog, so I'm sure that'll take up some of my time. Yeah. What is the story there? You just found a dog, decided you needed it? Not even. So Saturday, I was celebrating a friend's birthday at a Greek restaurant, and there were maybe 25 of us there at a long table, and this woman comes in with the dog, and she goes, I found him. He almost got hit by a car. He had this collar, no information, but I gave him a leash, but I can't keep him. I have 2 dogs already. Can one of you take him? And this girl at the end of the table was like, I guess one of us can. Okay. And she's like, really? Great. And handed him off and walked away. So the dog kind of got passed around down the line, and jokingly, I was like, hey, Chad, there's a dog. You want to keep it? And he was like, I don't know. Send me a picture. And I was like, okay. So I sent the picture, and we kind of went back and forth, and I was like, I think this dude is serious right now. And then I held the dog, and I'm not a dog person. I've never wanted a dog. I wasn't raised around dogs. Right.
Okay, the audio cut out again, but it made for the best soundless
just understood what that was.
Oh yeah, I got exactly what this was without.
Yep. So what kind of dog is
it? Street dog.
No, we think it's half Chihuahua, half Jack Russell Terrier.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But yeah, but like we came and we talked about it, and we kind of were like, well, like, why wouldn't you want it? Why wouldn't you want it? And we were both like, those are dumb reasons. I guess we'll keep the dog because no one else can keep it.
Nice.
So now we have a dog.
Aww. What's its name?
So we found the dog at a restaurant called Papa Christos, a Greek restaurant.
Okay.
So everyone there named him Puppy Christo. And then Chad was like, yeah, no. His name's Luca. Promised everyone I'd keep his name Puppy Christo. So I just call him Luca Christo, but I don't know what his name is. I thought about Riggins from Friday Night Lights.
Oh, I feel great about that.
It's too small for, Riggins are tough.
I like a little irony in a dog name, though. I mean...
But he was also a little gooey on the inside, that Riggins.
He's so gooey on the inside. He's a cat. Anyway, enough about my dog. Let's talk about Chris Pratt.
Oh, we will definitely talk about Chris Pratt.
I just learned who he was today, so I feel really good.
Oh, Donna, this is why I love you. So, I can't get over that. Kristen's like, what? What is happening? Before we go there, I do want to broach with you, because we had Cynthia Wu on here a little while ago. Good old Cynthia.
Vanguard coffee soon.
Yeah, and we were talking about, the being cast as a non-white woman in Hollywood, and she said one of the things that she has noticed there being more of is like the open calls that say, it doesn't really matter what race you are, and she feels like she has a shot at those roles. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you have a fair shake at those roles, and how do you feel like Hollywood is doing right now in the casting calls you're going to, the auditions you're going to, what they're expecting of you?
I saw this really incredible interview recently with the woman who wrote Love and Basketball. And what she said is that when it comes to casting, she goes, they cast the characters first, and then about 3/4 of the way they say, oh, shit, we don't have a minority, and they just pick amongst a group. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And so in that group, me and my friend Cristina Fernandez and Cynthia are all, we're all in the group.
You're in the pool of minorities.
The others, then they're happy, and then they put us towards the end in the picture, and that's that. Yeah. I can't do my work that way, so I have to think that I have a great shot at anything I go out for. Mm-hmm. But it's really frustrating. Yeah. It totally is. Yeah. At the same time, I've recently become really aware of different opportunities for diversity development, and so I feel like that's an advantage. I've gotten really into a channel on YouTube called Black and Sexy TV recently, and they have about 15 web series that are just people doing people things like you see on TV, but they're all of color, and that's exciting. There are avenues like that, and they have a huge following. I think 135,000 people tune in every week to see the show. So there's a need for it. It's just a matter of Hollywood hopefully seeing that and catching up. But I have to be optimistic about it, and I have to think that one day I will be able to go up for a role against anyone and be considered, and that they don't look at, I don't know, I felt like Martin Luther King, it's not the color of my skin.
The content of your character. Sure. Yeah.
But, that's kind of what but I try, in my own work, I try not to enforce stereotypes and to be the full-fledged, complex version of myself that I am, and taking that to every character. So if nothing else, I would hope that when I leave, they say, well, she's not right, but she was interesting. Yeah. And then the next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I'm excited there are so many women of color on TV. I'm excited there's so many women on TV.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's like a double whammy, right? Like a woman on this side and a woman of color on that side, but we keep fighting back and continuing forward. So I'm super stoked on that, and I haven't seen How to Get Away with Murder yet. But I'm really excited. I don't watch Scandal.
You don't watch Scandal?
I know. I was in grad school when it started, and I just couldn't commit. But now that I'm done, I'm catching up on all that stuff. And,
You might want to be medicated before you watch How to Get Away with Murder, because it is extremely stressful.
It is really
stressful. Episode.
Really stressful.
There's only been one episode.
I know, and it was bananas.
It was crazy pants. At first, when it started, I'm like, am I in the middle? Did I miss the first one? This must be not the first one. But that was like doing flashbacks, and like by the end of it, I'm like, I almost feel like I want to turn it off. Like, I'm getting very anxious right now.
I have to, I need to see it. Probably after, I've got to work. Tomorrow. I'll see it tomorrow.
Right before you start to do Ello.
Yeah.
You know, maybe.
Ello's on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, so you can schedule it in between.
Exactly. I love Viola Davis, man. Like, I mean, I've loved her long time. She's incredible.
I said that earlier this week. I said I want her, and I said we should just hand her the keys to the world because we should just be throwing the towel now because she's so wonderful.
Man.
Yeah,
everything about her.
I read this quote from her in this article. I don't know. They were covering, her work, and they were like, well, how do you feel that it took you so long to make it? And she's like, that's never been on my radar. She's like, I was in the corner with the shovel, like doing the work. And every once in a while people were there and I was like, hey, this is work. And she's like, there were more and more people and people would offer me things and offer contracts and say this and that'd be great. But then I'm just going to do the work.
Yeah.
And I love that approach,
Yeah, absolutely.
Without seeking the fame and fortune, things just come.
Yeah. And it's funny to think that was something she was asked because I haven't thought of her as someone who just made it. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's been around forever. She's been there forever.
She has been around forever, but she hasn't been, mainstream forever. Yeah. We haven't seen her face. She wasn't a Gabrielle Union, younger, whatever. True. She was in her late 30s, early 40s when we really began to know her name.
But yeah, I think you definitely need to watch Scandal.
I watched one episode. They talk so fast.
They do.
And I'm a fast talker.
It's true.
They talk really fast.
I did
you have to pay attention. It's one of those ones you have to listen. You can't be playing solitaire or
you have to be in it.
You have to be focused in watching it because otherwise you're come back and you have no idea what's going on.
But did you see Viola Davis was also recently asked about that terrible New York Times article. And I thought her response to that too, because it was like, how did you feel about being called not a classic beauty or whatever? And she had this whole quote, and I'm not going to try to actually say what she said because I will butcher it. But yeah, she said this whole thing about not letting herself be erased by this idea of beauty and what's classic and what's not, and it was just so well said that it's this is a woman who just gets it. She's been doing the work for a long time. She's heard everything. She knows what how she's been pigeonholed and how she's been trying to get
very
past
aware.
it. Yeah, and
I even love what she talks about, her time at Juilliard, where she's like grad school was nothing. I was a mess. I you know what I mean? I was angry. I was pissed off. I got nothing out of that. I moved on, but it took me a while to recover from that too.
Yeah.
In comparison with some of with half the cast of Orange is the New Black, who got roles right out of Juilliard. 6 months after they graduated. That wasn't her story, and I think that's really encouraging for all of us, but for actors like me, who I feel like I'm in this for the long haul, and I'm game. So it's if Viola did it, I can do it too.
Right. It doesn't.
So that's how I talk in my head.
That's Donna's head voice.
That's a very optimistic sounding voice. So
And for those listening, let me just say, I feel comfortable saying Donna is one to watch. I've been watching Donna for a decade now.
Just kidding.
I've been watching you, Donna.
It's terrifying. You have been.
I was confession, that wasn't your husband that went behind you earlier.
I'm everywhere. Yeah, watching you act for a decade, known you longer than that through the old live journal days and whatnot. But yeah, and I've seen you in so many roles that are so vastly different from each other. I don't know where you're pulling it from, to be honest, to see you transform from role to role in these ways. And I'm like, none of these roles are Donna to me, but you're finding something in there that's managing to give this humanity to these characters that I've always very much appreciated. So look out for Donna.
Well, thank you for that.
Donna's going to be a thing, you guys. Just you wait.
I'm trying to catch up to you.
And then one day we're going to re-air this and be like, see,
we called it.
Told ya.
Everyone should pay attention to us because we are psychics.
Right?
True.
So now, if you like, we can start talking about Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
We can.
Number one, he's really hot.
Right.
I didn't know him on the street. I mean, I would now, but yesterday I wouldn't have known on if he asked for $1, I'd be like, oh, little homeless man. But he's really attractive.
He's really good looking.
I think he's really talented.
Yeah.
Rare.
Yeah, attractive and talented.
Doesn't always happen.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Well, Kristen and I have been obsessed with him for a while. I'm like one of those. I loved him when he was back on Everwood like a decade ago, and then he like disappeared, and then all of a sudden he was like here again in Parks and Rec, and he's like chubby and cute on that, and now he's like super hot in Star-Lord.
Yeah.
So SNL though, whew, that was a little bit of a mess.
That 10-minute weekend news update. What is it called?
Weekend update.
Oh my God! I don't like Leslie Jones.
Really? Actually, I don't know her, so I can't. I thought she, in this particular case, in the Weekend Update thing, and I don't know her from anything else.
Yeah.
I thought she like finally gave like a little like vitality to the episode, and that new kid who's like super young and did like basically his stand-up routine during Weekend Update.
Right?
He was my least favorite part of that.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. I actually walked away and went to the bathroom and came back. I'm like, oh, he's still gone. I'll wait until he's gone.
Yeah. It was a weird Weekend Update. It was really long.
It was too long. They had too many like people trying to come in. I mean, the girl who's you don't want to talk to at a party is always kind of funny.
Yeah, you can always. That's a good fallback.
Yeah, so that's a good fallback. But then they just had too many things going on. I don't know. I didn't like either of the people who were hosting it. Really?
Oh yeah.
Is the new kid the guy with the big eye who always makes his eyes big, like the cocaine?
The new guy is the one that looks like he's 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's I can't remember what his name is, but I just learned from listening to the Cameron Lewis show today that he actually started doing stand-up really, really young as a way of coping with his father's death. His father was, I think, a firefighter, or maybe not a firefighter, he was just in it, but he died in 9/11.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so this is how this kid sort of like managed to like get through it. So he's like the youngest cast member of SNL ever, because he's been doing stand-up just like since he was wee. Yeah, so some article I was reading was like, he's not even old enough to drink yet. I'm like, is he seriously that young?
Really?
He really is as young as he looks.
I'm sure he'll grow into being funny.
Right, like that's the thing, is it's like, it's the first one, you know, it's gonna be a little awkward. They're trying to like shoehorn him into Weekend Update. I don't know. I think with the rest of it though, there was potential with the sketches, and then they just fizzled out. Like the Lion-O and He-Man one.
Dude, there wasn't even potential. I don't see where any potential with that one was.
I mean, there were funny like moments that just went on too long.
Exactly.
You know, and then Ariana Grande, like the latte, is that her name?
Yeah.
And then I think that like she didn't know what was like. She was like, I don't know, I'm gonna destroy things, which every improver knows that's the end.
Yeah.
The minute you start destroying things, we all have to destroy things, and it's over.
Yeah, it was no good. I don't. Yeah. And I've seen things like Ariana Grande did a great job. And I'm like, what?
Her performances were good. Like her singing.
Yeah,
the singing part she did was fine.
I skipped that part.
I usually skip the music.
I usually do too. But I watched the first. Well, I skipped the second one. The first one was good. Yeah. The second one, some guy came out and everyone was excited, but I didn't know who he was.
With the hair.
Yeah. Who's that guy?
What's happening?
Is that the rapper?
I have no idea.
I don't think he was Was he a rapper?
I'd skipped the song, so I didn't even hear him.
He's apparently someone famous, because my Twitter feed was like, "What? So and so is on this," and I was like,
What if it was like Sinbad, like someone that we haven't seen in a while, and we're like, "Oh, Sinbad's out there!"
Sinbad, what? No, I think I can categorically say it was not Sinbad.
Yeah,
no.
Could have been. I would have known.
But his hair was just, it made me angry. I feel a little angry sometimes just about, yeah, I get angry about like dreads in general, just because I'm like, I work so hard to keep my hair from not being in dreads. I don't understand doing it on purpose. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, I get like culturally, I don't get white people with dreads at all. Culturally, whatever. This guy had dreads, and then it was like bedhead dreads, though. So it was like, it stuck up in the front in like these horn things, and then in the back. And it was baffling.
I have to find out who this guy is.
Yeah.
His name, would you know him? Or no?
He's the something is what people refer, and I don't know if that's a band or if it was like the Machine or the something. I don't know what it's not the Machine. That's Florence.
Not gonna guess.
No, so. But maybe you might know who this person is. I don't know. You're more in tune with the music than I am.
I'm not trendy. Let me just start there. I listen to so much Tracy Chapman. I don't know what's going on, guys.
I've been hearing a lot of Tracy Chapman lately, so maybe you have
The Weeknd.
It's
The Weeknd.
Weekend.
But
I was gonna guess that.
But he spells his name with
It's missing a letter, right?
It's missing an E.
Yeah, he doesn't like vowels.
It's like week, but then ND.
ND, yeah.
So like
She's
we can.
really talented. I'm a fan.
Okay, so we'll see. Apparently, everybody is, and I'm sure he's sounding good. But I was so distracted by what was happening.
I think he's pretty great.
Okay, well, maybe I'll have
It's
to.
not great enough that I knew he had a song with Ariana Grande. So. But the idea of him is pretty awesome.
Yeah. If you were 14 years old, I'm sure you would totally know he had a song with Ariana Grande.
When I was 14, I loved Limp Bizkit and Papa Roach. I don't feel like that would have been anywhere on my radar.
Would not have, yeah, maybe wouldn't have registered. The funny thing that you say that particular combination is that I actually had a tape that on one side was Papa Roach and on the other side was Limp Bizkit. Like,
I'm not surprised, though. I feel like we could have been the same person at some point in some amount of time.
yeah, just some weird thing happened where 2 years later on the planet, Donna happened, and we converged.
It's like those Chris Paul commercials. You know, it's like he doesn't know he has a twin, but they're doing the same. They're like being nice, but in different areas.
I don't know who Chris Paul is.
He plays for the Clippers, so it's like he has these State Farm commercials.
Seen them? He's got like glasses on and it's like a nerd.
And then it's like his twin that he didn't know he had is like the State Farm agent and like helps people, and he's like the cool basketball player.
Nope.
Anyway,
Nope, not working for me.
Never mind.
I know. I'm
Thank
good with
you.
All
it.
right,
Thank
Donna's
you.
with you, and that's all that matters on this. But okay, so SNL. I think like one of the funniest things of the night was totally the Key and Peele ripoff sketch, the NFL intros.
I didn't think that was funny either.
Yeah, I didn't think that was really funny.
Gosh, you guys are like.
I didn't think anything. The only thing that I laughed at was the weird '80s sitcom.
That was
Yes.
That
And I was like,
awesome.
almost because I was laughing because I'm like, what's happening? Like they didn't explain anything. Like they just went for it, and then it was over, and I'm like, what did I just watch?
It was
Like, I was
very,
laughing
like,
out of
cool
what's
kid.
going on. Oh,
Like if you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if you don't get it, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was pretty genius.
yeah.
That was really good. I feel like that's like Beck Bennett, I think kind of has this, like he's kind of like the Andy Samberg now, like Beck Bennett and the Kyle Mooney, I think his name is.
I don't know who any of the people are
Okay, well,
except for Cecily. I think
so
that's
the
only
guy
person.
who does the commercials with the little kids, you know that guy?
Oh yeah.
That's Beck Bennett. Kyle
okay.
Mooney is the guy from the Sprint commercials with the weird family where the hamster's the dad and
God, I hate those commercials. Okay.
yeah. So those two, they were like a comedy duo before SNL.
Oh.
And so I feel like they like kind of do that sort of like digital short type thing
Okay.
together. And so that feels like one of their, like they just kind of
Thanks.
nail it with those
Yeah.
those things. That was probably,
That was my favorite part.
that was the best one. The Marvel trailer was pretty
yeah.
good. You know, that was solid.
Are you voting for something or are you
I'm
raising your
raising my
hand?
hand.
Yeah, go
Oh.
for it.
Was Chris Pratt in that one?
In the,
In the
In the
TV
80s
show one?
yeah, he was
He was
Oh,
the
okay,
kid
good.
Maxie.
the kid getting in trouble.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maxie.
Sorry. Thank you. To make sure.
Yeah, and I feel like this is sort of like when J-Law was on it, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
they have such a
Squandered.
good person on it, and they kind of squandered it with, like, weird sketches that, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's just like they're like, we're having trouble writing some sketches. We've got some really good ones for future episodes. Let's just give the crappy ones to the really famous person who's going to be on this, because nobody cares. They're going to watch it anyway.
Yeah. Maybe.
We'll get it out of the way. Was Jennifer Lawrence's the season premiere last year too?
No, I think hers was just a 1.
Okay, because I thought it, like, I remembered there being a complaint, like, they had, I think it was because it was, like, the first one back after, like, Christmas break
Hiatus
or
or
whatever.
something.
Yeah, so everyone was like, they had a month to come up with something better than this, and this time it was like, they had all summer.
Well, then it sucks because
be
some things
there.
that happen like in June, you can't really do that now. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing about SNL. It's like if it didn't happen the week before, like you're screwed.
Yeah.
So it's like if they had a slow week leading up to the season premiere. I mean, like
Yeah.
they did two of
Two
the
NFL
NFL jokes. I'm like,
sketches,
okay, we get it, and that was like a month ago. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so clearly it was a slow news. They didn't have anything else to really pull from. So
Right.
that was the other thing too. I felt like they didn't have anything relevant enough to make really funny. So they were like, well, let's try something else. And I'm like, oh.
Which is like, that's why though, like the Lion-O one should have been funnier. You're like, yeah, it wasn't a timely thing. You could have come up with that anytime.
True. That's true.
Why was it so
I guess.
bad?
Well,
But I'm just gonna, you know what? They'll dust it off. They'll be okay. Chris Pratt, You're fine.
He's just so wonderful.
He's
I was just watching, before we were doing this, I was going to rewatch the Sneak Words. Yes. But then instead I just watched his whole interview, because he's just so... And he's telling this... Did you watch the whole interview?
I haven't watched it yet. You watched it?
Did you watch it, Nada?
I did.
So he's telling the story. They had the headshot of him where he's all like, got the hair and the shirt.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
Jimmy Fallon's like, tell me the story of this. He's like, all right. He's like, so I move, and like someone tells me like I got to get a headshot, you know? So he's like in some restaurant or something, and some guy goes, no, he's at the post office, and some guy's like, you look familiar. Have I shot you? And he's like, no, I've never been shot. Like, all like freaked out. And the guy's like, well, I'm a photographer. My apartment's like 3 blocks from here. Do you want to go? And so Chris is like, oh, sure. And then like Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm like, oh my God, how did he not die?
Oh my God.
Like, so I go to the guy's house, and he's like, oh, you might want to take a shower. She's like, so I took a shower, and
What?
he's telling this horse. Jimmy Fallon is like dying. He's like, you did not do all of these things. And he's like, oh yeah, you know. And so the guy like took my picture, and then he gave him like 3 or 4 rolls of film. He's like, that would have cost me like $400. The guy just did it. He just handed him. He's like, good luck. He's like, and this was the picture I thought was the best one of me. Like, you know.
So good.
And this is the headshot that got me on Everwood.
I love it.
Are you serious?
Gosh, boys are so dumb.
I know. and he's just so adorable, though, and I just love him so much. So cute. So when he's telling the story, Jimmy Fallon, of course, is like losing his mind, as he usually does. But
that's insane. But I can see why they would have cast him for that
right?
photo
there. He was pretty cute. Well, then I was just watching they just put season 6 of Parks and Rec on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. I watched that.
He's, like, gotten skinny, but he's, like, supposed to be frumpy Andy, right? But he, like, was skinny in the season premiere, and he's, like, talking to Ben, and Ben's like, wow, you look great. He's like, yeah, I stopped drinking beer. I lost 60 pounds. Yeah. He's like, how much beer were you drinking? He's like, oh, a lot, you know?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Really good.
Yeah, I binge-watched all of that. I am actually now caught up on Parks and Rec.
Oh, you are? Okay, see, I'm only halfway through season 6.
Oh, wow, I actually surpassed you on Parks.
Well, because it just came on Netflix, like, this week.
But it was on Hulu, so I started watching season 6 on Hulu.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I got an email from Netflix, because apparently I've been watching so much Parks and Rec, it needed to tell me, and it was like, hey, Parks and Rec is on here.
Yeah.
That's how Netflix types and talks.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec. That's on this. Dawn, I'm going to guess you probably don't watch Parks and Rec.
I just finished season 5 of Friday Night Lights.
Oh, nope. I was like,
oh, no, not the same thing. Well, hey.
3 episodes away from the end.
I still think I'm 3 episodes away from the end of it, because I know how much I'm going to cry, so I just have been putting it off for 3 years or whatever. To the end of it.
Pretty good show. But no, I have not seen Parks and Rec.
Fair enough. Yeah, considering you didn't recognize Chris Pratt, I would say that was...
And you clearly didn't watch Everwood.
Yeah, clearly.
I certainly did not watch Everwood. Nope.
But yeah, so the other thing that Chris Pratt did was the sneak words thing on Jimmy Fallon. That was where this came from. And, I mean, we don't need to talk a whole heck of a lot about it because we already got that great story. But it's very cute to
watch. You guys need
to
figure out how to do that on your next podcast.
I know. We've got like we just have to figure out how to do games of this nature through the Skype thing and make it work.
Well, this is an easier one.
Yeah, like, this is easier.
The box, what's in the box would have been too hard. But this is easy. We can easily have a third party come up with words and give them to us.
And try to put them in. So, on Donna's recommendation, sneak words, Electric Fancave style, will come up. I noticed we did have like a segment, that sort of occasionally comes up here and there, where we called it Why Is That a Thing? Where Kristen talks about things she doesn't understand. I noticed this week on John Oliver, they had a segment called Ayn Rand, Why Is She Still a Thing? And I was like, hey! Look at
they stole that from us.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Good job, us. For time's sake, we should... Oh, one more question, though, about that. At the end of the clip of the sneak words thing, was that John Mellencamp playing with, like...
Yeah, he was the other guest.
Oh.
It was Rosamund Pike, Chris Pratt, and John Mellencamp.
Got it. I was like, what? What's happening right now?
They just slip him in there.
Yeah. It's like, it wasn't up to anything.
Now that John Cougar Mellencamp just swings by randomly to play a random song.
Cougar Mellencamp. I had a moment where I was like, what is his name now? Is it John Mellencamp? I don't know. John Cougar Mellencamp. Is Cougar even a real part of his name?
I don't think so.
It's like,
actually don't know.
It sounds great.
It does, yeah.
If it is, well done, Mr. and Mrs. Mellencamp.
Yeah. So another thing that happened... Lorde's new single from the newest Hunger Games installment Not into it, Donna?
I love Lorde.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I couldn't touch it. I'm like, this could go either way.
Yeah. Yeah, it needed this to really settle in.
Yeah.
She is like, I feel like she's got like this 90s soul, you know?
Yeah.
She feels like she's like Tori Amos or, you know, PJ Harvey and people like that were just sort of like out there.
She seems like she's done a lot of drugs, but she's just organic.
She looks like she's done a lot of drugs.
That way.
Yeah.
I mean, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I want to be inside her brain. Like, to be... Is she now 16 years old?
Yeah,
like
thanks.
That?
You got that weird pause, too, right? Now I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Let's not talk about it. Let's keep going.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Sorry, I couldn't let that one go, because both me and Donna were like...
This is when it being a video podcast really works in your favor.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Man.
In her brain. I want to in her brain.
Yep, got it. Right there. Tracking.
Driving through to the end of the thought.
Yeah, because she's so young, and like the way she thinks is so philosophical, and she writes lyrics that are just, I don't know. I just didn't think like that when I was a teenager. You know, in this abstract, not just talking about like boys and whatever. I don't know. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I
just
thought like that.
I feel like this song is more
I was
back.
like, duh. Didn't you
my
read
life
Teen
journal.
Christian's? Yeah.
I mean, when
No
you're
one
17,
cares.
you're using words like visceral. So
Yeah.
describe
I
a show.
was like before my time, and people were like, "Oh, she's weird." I'm like, "No, I'm a visionary."
No, trust me. In 10 years, you're gonna think I'm amazing.
Kanye and I, man, we're so man. He knows what it's like.
Yeah, for real. This song though, I quite enjoy it. It's like the first time I listened through it, I was like, this is a little weird. And I listened to it again, I was like, nope, I officially love it.
Me too.
Very
I like it because I feel like it's a return to what. So like the first Hunger Game album, like had all these songs that were just like dark, and because it's a dark theme. It's about children who murder each other, you know. So it's dark, and like the second one was just so poppy, and it had like Coldplay. I'm like, Coldplay, come on, no. Yeah. And then when this song happened, I was like, yep. We're going back down to that scary place. I like it.
I listened to the Coldplay song today because I was like, I don't even remember it at this point.
Yeah,
and I listen to the first soundtrack all the time. Like, it's my background music constantly. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this doesn't feel like the Hunger Games.
It doesn't feel like we're fighting to the death for our lives.
Yeah. And Lorde and her weird, like, humming in this one at the beginning, and it's, like, really simple and really creepy. That's the soundtrack to kids killing each other.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Children sacrificing. This is what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had another.
Is she doing the whole album?
Huh?
Is she doing the whole album?
No, I think just like sort of the theme.
Okay.
That'd be interesting to have like one artist like do the whole score for the film. That'd be awesome.
Because she made it sound like she was, right? In the
Yeah.
the article.
Oh, did she?
That's what
I
I was getting from the article too. So I was like, interesting to see if she's actually. She made it sound like she was writing all of the songs. I don't know if she's performing all of them or if she's. I don't know what she's doing, but it sounded like she was behind.
Misleading, whatever it is. So I'm going to boycott that this week.
That's totally fair.
She was vague or she lied, one or the other.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm offended. So
yeah, that's. I'm with you.
There you go.
But I'm looking forward to it. However, it comes out.
Me too.
So I feel great about it actually.
I'm looking for a super weird video too.
Oh yeah. I'm in love with her tennis court video. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's like basically she's just like staring at the camera and she doesn't sing for a lot of it. And you know, tennis court's the one with the thing in it.
Okay.
And so like she'll just be like standing there and she's wearing like this really dark lipstick, real pale face, and it's just like her on like a black background, and the song's playing, and then every now and again she'll just go like and that's about it. And it's like so weird, so creepy.
I don't think I'm gonna like that.
No, you have to watch it. It's hard to explain it and give it do it justice. I mean, it might just creep you out, but I love it. But that's Lorde. She's creepy.
It's true.
She had a great quote in that article, and I left my cheat sheet in the other room, so I don't have it. But it was something along the lines of like when you birth or create something and you feel it begin to slip away from you and it becomes someone else's, that feeling you get. I was like, man, that is poignant. Like, I'm gonna write that food in Chinese down my arm because that is some good stuff. Say that now.
You know what? If you want to be really trendy, you should write it in Elvish.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That moment, Donna knows exactly who you're referencing.
I wish you hadn't said that.
Anyways, two more things we want to talk about, so we'll get to them fairly rapidly. For one, Chris Hemsworth's new movie trailer, Black Hat. How do you guys feel about this?
Chris Pratt. I'm sorry. Okay, well, he's hotter than Chris Pratt is. I'm sorry. I was like, wow, this guy is everywhere right now. Like,
and Donna still doesn't know who Chris Pratt is.
So she still wouldn't recognize him if he asked her for $1.
I'm sorry.
But she is going to meet Chris Hemsworth someday and be like, Chris Pratt!
Yeah, totally.
He's like, need $1?
He's like, Viola, good to see you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm going to see it because I love Chris Hemsworth. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. I don't know. I mean, it looks cool. I like hacker-ish movies, and he looks hot in it. So, and it's like, I'm a little confused. I feel like the bad guy is the Joker in the movie or something.
As in Batman's
Joker? It's
Joker?
not about money, and it's not political. I just want to hurt people. And I'm like, okay, so you just want to watch the world burn, I guess. That's cool.
Well, that's the thing, is that the movie itself feels like a little bit formulaic. Like, okay, there's only one hacker in the entire world who can solve this
and it's just
problem.
like super hot hacker. When has that ever been a thing?
I know, right? There's no way.
Is he hot? I didn't know he was hot. I thought he was the bearded guy.
Chris Hemsworth.
He's the hacker?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I gotta rewatch this trailer. I thought he saved the day.
Yeah, because he's a hacker who was in jail for 15 years.
He's like in jail.
Yeah, he's a bad hacker.
No, he's the good hacker.
Gotta be specific. We have multiple hackers in this film.
That's true. He's the black hat
in the film.
Yeah. Donna is in it?
No, Viola.
Oh,
yeah.
Viola Davis is in it.
I thought you said my name. I was like, that's like the name of something in it. I'm confused. Now I'm with you.
That's when we watched it.
Words.
Yep, I was trying to say that was the trailer that we watched. Then I told Corey, "Oh, Viola Davis should be in all the things."
Yes,
I had already watched How to Get Away with Murder and just her general splendor of life.
Yeah, like the cast of this is great. I feel awesome about that, and it looks like it's gonna be one of those just like sort of fun, crazy, intense rides.
They run around, Yeah, it's like all of a sudden now he's also like the agent, but also the hack. Like he's got to play both roles. I'm like, I'm into it. Yeah, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene where he has like hair and he's like hair is perfectly coiffed after being in prison, and he's just like, I gotta give me what I want. You're like, yeah, you'll get whatever you want.
It's like white collar prison,
Boy, you can get it.
They have hair products
than Riggins was in prison.
Well, let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy.
Sorry. One track mind these days.
It's really hard to beat Tim Riggins in a hot contest.
Yeah, it is.
I wish someone had cut his hair. Once during the season.
No, I liked it. He looks weird with short hair. I don't like him with short hair.
I haven't seen him. I gotta look it up.
Anything with short hair? I'm trying to.
Yeah, he was in the Battleship movie with short hair.
That's right.
And I didn't even know he was like. They were like, "Oh, this Battleship movie." I'm like, "Who that guy looks so familiar?" And then at the end, it was like Taylor Kitsch. I'm like, "What?" And then I go back and rewatch it, and it's like a completely different person with short hair.
You had to go back and rewatch it once you realized it was Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm never going to watch this again. But it was just it was miserable. I'm like, get your long hair back and got it like sweaty and all like tousled and like, I don't care. I'm Tim Riggins.
Yeah. He works it. It's like, I'm not a long hair person in general, but when he does it, it's right. It's like his attitude is in his hair.
Yeah. He's like Samson.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that, and then I was afraid I was going to say the wrong name and sound stupid, but Samson is what I was going for. Don't look at me like that,
That's
Donna.
what happens when you go to chapel.
I know. Well, that we compare everything to Bible stories? Yes. Wow. Accurate.
Chris Hemsworth is tough.
He's pretty beautiful.
My seal of approval.
Yeah. Because you didn't know Chris Hemsworth wasn't Chris Pratt, I'm wondering, do you have any sense of who Liam Hemsworth is?
I know Liam Neeson. Or Nelson, whatever his name is.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Donna,
Donna.
you're killing me right now.
Yeah. My dog is also killing me. Stop that, Gaucho. Anyway, so...
Liam Hemsworth is Gale in the Hunger Games.
Yeah. He was also engaged to Miley Cyrus for a while.
I may have seen a tabloid.
No, don't let that be the thing you know him about.
He's Australian, so I'm like, oh, he was in Triangle, and I'm like, nobody here has seen Triangle. That's a me thing.
He was in a Zac Brown band music video.
Ugh. I'm gonna go ahead and say that probably Donna hasn't seen that either.
Okay. He was in the last song.
Yeah, that's also Miley. Yeah.
Oh, no. Sorry.
There's a moment of recognition, like, oh no, that is not the movie that I was thinking of.
Nope.
He exists. You should study.
The Color of Friendship.
The Color of Friendship?
You said the last song.
Oh, wait.
That's not the same thing.
With the South African?
Yeah.
Different race, yeah.
Yeah, I love The Color of Friendship. That was a good one.
Same thing.
It's not the same thing at all. So let's quickly talk about our science discovery before we run out of time here. You guys! I kind of want to read from the article because the article talks about it so delightfully.
Yeah.
Like, it's so quaint the way it discusses this. So, basically, I love this beginning. It's been 63 years since we've classified a new kind of cloud. You'd think that after hundreds of years of looking up at the sky and documenting the dollops of gaseous whipped cream we see, there couldn't be any more clouds nature could throw at us. But we found a serious contender in those intervening years, and it rolls like an ocean in the sky. And you guys, that's exactly
what it looks like.
Like.
It's like ocean on ocean. It's crazy.
It's insane. And obviously we will link to this on the blog because you need to see these clouds. I told Kristen, though, that I was like, I think if I actually saw these in the sky, like, I'd be like, get me to the church. I need to go to get my life in order, make arrangements, because this is clearly the end of the world.
Yeah. Life is ending. Yeah. But they're super pretty. Yeah. I'm not sure how much time I lost staring at them because they had like a GIF of it kind of just on the webs on the.
I'm staring at it now. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's so pretty, and like it's the next part of the article says since 2009, Gavin Preter-Pinney, who runs the delightfully named Cloud Appreciation Society, has been trying to get these spectacular formations officially classified by the World Meteorological Organization. He calls them undulatus asperatus clouds, meaning roughened or agitated waves.
Of course.
Of course. That's wonderful. Everything about this story is wonderful. And I like, why are they not classified? Is it because there's, like, you remember you learned, like, what the clouds are? Like, there's, like, cumulonimbus and, like, other kinds. Nimbus twice. It's a word of the day.
Heyo.
And I don't remember what the other kinds of clouds are off the top of my head. But, like, maybe this falls into one of those categories, and that's why they don't name it.
They didn't really say why it didn't. It just said that they...
The article didn't have a lot of information.
No.
So you gotta go and do your own.
Yeah,
dig up your own.
It was on Nerdist, so, it's not like a science website, but
yeah,
I just find that fascinating that for some reason these need classifying. Like, I imagine these have to have always been around, right? Like, we didn't cause this, did we?
No. They've been around for... Yeah, because I was telling someone I work with about them, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that before." I'm like, "Oh, I thought this was like a cool thing." So they're not new.
Yeah,
I have a feeling this guy's been lobbying maybe for a while to get them to.
Yeah,
I just want to know how to join the Cloud Appreciation Club.
I know, like, are there dues? Do I have to be a scientist? Can I just be like I like clouds?
Can I just like to lay in parks and stare at the sky?
Yeah. Say what shapes they look like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to be a part of the Cloud Appreciation Society. That just sounds like a nice group of people.
It does.
Like, you couldn't really have, like, huge stratifying arguments in a Cloud Appreciation Society. You're like, maybe this cloud needs a name. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Let's watch them roll.
Yeah. They're probably high a lot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. That is for sure a high organization. But yeah, these things are so pretty. And watching the video is just like, I want them to put like magical music behind it. Like maybe like the Harry Potter score or something.
You should watch it while you're playing the Lorde song.
It's just like,
I'm going to GIF that moment later.
This is like our, Oh my god.
You can do it. What?
Wizard of Oz and...
Oh, and Dark Side of the Moon. I don't know how this was supposed to symbolize.
Over the rainbow.
Over the rainbow. I understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah, when explained, it makes sense. It wasn't exactly an intuitive motion.
Whatever.
I was like, waves. I am never going to play charades on your team.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
But yeah, so that's our scientific thing for the week. So you're welcome for that. Check out the blog and you'll find it. Have we touched on everything, you guys?
We have.
We have.
And then some.
And then some. And then we touched on pumpkin spice, and I said an awkward thing about Lorde, so I feel good about today.
Yeah.
I feel really good about it.
All in all, this has been an excellent episode.
Yeah.
You're welcome, world.
Donna, thank you so much for joining us today. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I don't think I've laughed this much in a really long time. So,
yes.
like per hour. I mean, I laugh, but not like a lot.
I was like, your life seems sad, Donna. Come join us whenever you want.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Yeah. So
I learned a lot too. Education.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere you would like people to find you on the internet, Instagram, Twitter, whatever?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm Donna J. You can find me on Twitter. See, I have a brand issue here. I'm D Simone Jo. Ha 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 ha. Or my website, DonnaSimoneJohnson.com. All my updates are there. If you're in some area, I'll be to you soon. So find out where I am and come see me and say hi.
Love it. Excellent.
Have her sign your playbill.
Yeah.
Legally.
This is true. You now have Donna's permission to ask her to come to your house to sign your playbill.
Don't have to take a shower. Don't need any headshots. I'm good.
Off limits. Yeah. Oh.
Hey, no photography, guys.
Oh, Chris Pratt. Oh, boy. So, thanks everybody for listening to the Electric Fancave and ElectricFeast.com. Make sure you check out the blog. We'll link to everything that we talked about. We'll link to Donna's social media so that you can find her there and follow her and say, you heard it first. You were there. You were an early Donna adopter. We will be back next week to talk about more things. Until then, make sure that you subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you can find us. Go ahead and subscribe because we want to keep being in touch. And you can always email us, tweet us, talk to us on the Electric Feast webpage or wherever. We want to hear your voices and such, your comments. So, until next time, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
I'm Kristen Latterell.
Oh, peace out, everybody.
Yeah.
Donna, there's someone behind you!
Yeah. Look out behind you!
Look out!
Oh, God, Donna!
Can I say something about that really funny? So, okay, Corey, you know this, but I go teach in Idlewild Arts Academy in the summers for 6 to 8 weeks, and they used to put us in these like super scary, the creepiest cabins ever, with like no one on either side for miles and miles around. Ugh. And I would like late at night when I couldn't sleep, I'd like FaceTime with people. Like, if you see someone behind me, please, like, this is my address. I need you to call the police. This town does not have a police station, but eventually the sheriff will make it up the hill
and find your body.
Maybe I won't be massacred.